Let's bring in now our legal expert, Irv Miller. Irv, this is expected to be a long afternoon. What do you expect from Smollett and his attorneys on what they need to say or do today? Or is it all moot? Does the judge really know what he's going to decide already?
Well, there's two parts to this. One is the motion for a new trial or to overturn the jury's verdict, and the second thing is the sentencing. I think the judge knows what he's going to do with respect to whether or not he's going to grant a new trial or overturn the jury's verdict. I think he's going to deny that. He's read the 83-page motion filed by Smollett's attorneys, and he's read the 13-page product that the special prosecutor provided to him a couple days ago. So it's a legal thing at that end of it. He knows what he's going to do. With respect to the sentencing, I think he's going to wait and see what, if anything, Smollett has to say. Smollett has an absolute right to make a statement to the judge, not subject to cross-examination, but just say to the judge what he wants, if he wants. This is probably a long discussion that he had with his lawyers on whether or not he should make a statement, because the last thing he wants to do is say something that will turn this into a really tough sentencing hearing for him where he could actually be sentenced to do some jail time. He could say to the judge, no, thank you, I don't wish to make a statement. He could say, yes, Your Honor, I wish to make a statement, but not talk about the case and just talk about some mitigation, all the good things he's done in his life. He could make a statement saying, Judge, I'm innocent, I didn't do this. And he could make a statement saying, Judge, you know what? I'm sorry, I did do this. I'm willing to take my punishment. I'm willing to do community service. I'm willing to pay the police department the $130,000 of expended overtime funds that were utilized in the case. So I think the judge is waiting to hear what Smollett will say if he decides to make a statement before deciding on a sentence.
So as we wait for that, Irv, we know that there have been several letters submitted on his behalf from celebrities. There's also his grandmother, as Charlie mentioned. What sort of impact do you think that could have? Some of them were talking about how, you know, for him to be a man, a celebrity going into prison, also a gay man, that could cause some concern. I believe Jesse Jackson spoke on that. So do you think that will impact the judge in any way?
I'm a big believer in mitigation letters. I've used them many times myself. I've seen judges who have predetermined a sentence and then read mitigation letters and then actually comment on those mitigation letters at the time of sentencing and basically saying, you know, I was going to throw the book at you, but these people have wrote these letters. I didn't know all these personal things about you, about all the good things you've done in your life. I'm going to give you another chance. So yes, these letters are important, and the ones that you've referenced obviously are some things that this particular judge will pay attention to, and I predict that he will comment on some of the things that he's read in these letters.
Okay, Irv, before we go to the actual charges that he was convicted of, I have one more quick question for you. You talked about the importance of, if Jussie Smollett speaks, what he says. So play out the hypotheticals for me. He has never taken responsibility. He's been defiant about it the entire time. If he takes that stance, how is Judge Lynn going to react? And the opposite end, if he stuns people but doesn't even take accountability, just apologizes, how might Judge Lynn react to that?
It's my belief, knowing Judge Lynn, and I've known him for a long time, both as a judge and as a prosecutor, if Jussie Smollett gets up there and says, Judge, I don't wish to make a statement, I do believe the judge will sentence him to probation, but also with some jail time. The judge will say, you lied to this jury, and we can't allow perjury to enter into a criminal courtroom. You have to pay the price for that. If he says, yes, Judge, I want to make a statement, and just talks about his background, mitigation, personal things, and how he's led a good life and wants to help other people, but doesn't talk about the case itself, I think at that time he will get a very little bit of time in addition to probation. If in fact he gets up there and says, Judge, I'm innocent, I didn't do this, I'm a scapegoat, I think if he does that, he's going to get a lot of time, not penitentiary time, but he could get up to 6 months of probation, 6 months of jail, if in fact the judge gives him probation. And if he gets up there and says, Judge, I'm sorry, I did it, I admit my guilt, that's his best shot for not getting any jail time.
All right. Irv Miller, we'll be back with you shortly, and of course throughout the day as we hear what happens inside the courtroom.